Hello, football fanatics, and welcome to the Real Talk F.C. Another crazy round of Premier League results. Lots of goals, lots of controversy, lots of penalties, and a few shock results. Once again, Premier League proves to be the best league in the world with the amount of entertainment and controversy it just causes. So, yeah, hope you've all enjoyed it. As you can see, not so that way, not so pleasant for my team. So I'll get straight into it. Arsenal lost 3-1 to Liverpool at Anfield. In my preview show, I predicted a 2-1. Trev predicted 3-1. He's not with us here today. He is on holiday, so I'm sure he's having a good time. So it's just me today, solo show here for the first time. So let's see how this goes. But yeah, getting back to the game, 3-1. As many would have predicted, Liverpool comfortable winners. It was not the greatest performance by Arsenal. I mean, the gulf in quality between the two teams is evident, and that was seen on the pitch. But I still think that Arsenal were a little bit underwhelming. They could have been a bit more resilient. I mean, they were resilient for most part of the games, but I think I just have to put it down to how good Liverpool are at pressing and closing down players. So even though Arsenal did seem like they did give it their best, defensively they tried. Offensively, I don't think they were as good going forward. Although Lacazette had a really good chance to equalize at 2-1, and he absolutely squandered that. I mean, you could argue that Alisson made a good save, but a strike of Lacazette's ability should be putting that away. So that was definitely an opportunity missed for Arsenal. But on the flip side, Liverpool were absolutely at their amazing best. And I think we'll have to reconsider this predictions for top four and relegation, because I'm definitely changed mine to Liverpool. They do look like a cut above the rest, which they did last season as well, and it seems like they're going to continue in that trajectory, which is unfortunate for the rest of the teams. But it's still early days. The positives out of the Arsenal game I can only take is that we looked a little bit more resilient in compared to previous seasons where we absolutely capitulated. Even though the result may not seem so, we did have a couple of chances, like I mentioned, and we were a little bit more organized. But Liverpool are just that good, and that's what happens when you play against the best teams in England and Europe. So you have to be at your best, otherwise you're not going to win the game, which Arsenal did not. Moving on, yesterday, I'm doing this show straight after the Arsenal game, so you can see I'm a little bit not too low, but yeah, it's not an easy weekend for if your team loses. But moving on to a shock result, some may say, is Man City losing 5-2 against Leicester at home. I mean, that was one crazy game. 3 penalties given away and scored for the first time, I think, in the Premier League. Leicester have won 3 consecutive games at the start of the season, first time since 1922, and first time Pep Guardiola has conceded 5 goals in a game. So a lot of records were broken on that game. And of course, we have to talk about Jamie Vardy. I know Trev will be very happy. I'm sure he's got him in his fantasy team. So good shout out there. And what a hat trick. 2 penalties, brilliantly taken penalties. He won the penalties. I think the first one definitely. And then a brilliant hat trick. The second goal was sublime. Backheeled into the net from the right back. So I still can't remember his name. The Leicester right back, who seems pretty good. And Maddison scoring a thunderbolt from around 30 yards into the top corner. What a magnificent goal that was. So yeah, Leicester 5-2 winners over Man City. Man City did not look good defensively. 3 penalties given away by 3 different defenders. That should be worrying signs for Pep Guardiola. And yep, all I can say is Pep's not looking too good at City right now. He's reached his peak, when in Barcelona at Bayern, he had the same thing where he'd go in, be successful, and then he reaches a peak after 5 years, 4 years, even less at Bayern, I think it was. And he does not have a second game plan. So if he doesn't have a fully fit, functioning squad with all the best players, he kind of struggles. So it will be interesting to see how Pep deals with this situation. And given that they do have a lot of first team players missing, but if you spend over $1 billion on your squad, that's not really an excuse. So yeah, tough times for Pep. Good luck, Guardiola. I had to get that in. Moving on, another crazy game was Chelsea-West Brom. 3-3. West Brom at 3-0 at halftime. Who would have thought that? Not me, definitely, and not most fans out there. But West Brom really giving it a go, and Chelsea really assisting them. Thiago Silva, 36 years old, thrown into the Premier League, and given the captain's armband. I don't know why, but anyway, that's Lampard's great tactical genius, as some might say. It didn't work out, but credit to them, they did come back in the second half and did score 3 goals. Mason Mount with a beautiful finish just outside the 18-yard box, and topped up by Hudson-Odoi with the second goal, and Tammy Abraham for the third goal in the tap-in. So they did fight back, but buying 8 players and expecting them to gel in the first few weeks of the season, yeah, that's not going to happen. It will take time, as Trevor and I have discussed in the previous podcast. And if you want to watch those podcasts, the shows, podcasts, whatever it may be, we will put the links in the description. So yeah, and that was another crazy game done. And then moving on, Spurs drew 1-1 to Newcastle. Another controversy of penalties and handballs, and everyone is complaining about this new handball rule. So even the coaches, the players, they have no idea what's going on. Basically anything that hits your arm in the penalty box is a penalty. So yeah, a lot of controversy over that. But Newcastle come away with a draw, even though Spurs had a lot of chances in the first half, but they didn't capitalize on them, and Newcastle got the penalty in the end and snatched the draw. And then moving on, I'm sure Trevor will have a lot to say about this game, but since he's not here, I will quickly run through it. United winning 3-2 over Brighton, and another game of controversy. Penalty taken after the full-time whistle is blown. I think this is the first time that's ever happened. But of course, with the new VAR and the handball rules, that is allowed. But that was a really good game to watch. Brighton had a lot of chances, hit the post 5 times. I think that was a Premier League record. The record's being broken everywhere. Okay, that's why you have to love the Premier League, don't you? Entertainment to the max. But going back to the game, Brighton hit the post 5 times, but if it doesn't hit the net, it doesn't count. So United capitalized on that. A brilliant solo goal by Rashford. Beautiful finish after basically putting a couple of defenders down on their asses. So I must give credit to him. Very good goal. And Bruno Fernandes for the penalty. I'm just kidding. A good banter is always, fun in football. But Bruno Fernandes does not miss penalties, and he took the third one. And the second goal was an own goal by Lewis Dunk. Brighton had a penalty also given in the first half, taken by Neil Maupay, and March scored the second goal for them. So those were the main big results of the weekend. Just going to quickly run through the rest. Southampton beating Burnley by a goal to 0. Danny Ings again. I've always rated him. Very good striker. Everton make it 3 wins out of 3, beating Crystal Palace 2-1. Another penalty for Everton, giving them the lead. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin continues a goal scoring form, 5 goals now. On top of the goals this season, with tied with Jamie Vardy. West Ham beating Wolves 4-0. That was a bit of a shock result. I did say that I thought maybe West Ham would have a good game, but I wasn't expecting a 4-0. But that's why we love the Premier League. And nothing is a given. And Leeds United continuing that good start to the Premier League, to the new season, coming up from the Championship, beating Sheffield United by a goal to nil. Bamford with his 3rd goal of the season. So they look very comfortable so far in the Premier League. So, yeah, and it wasn't a goal fest like we expected, but I'm sure Leeds will not be disappointed with that. Aston Villa, comfortable winner, 3-0 winners over Fulham. Worrying times for Fulham. No points picked up. Same for Sheffield United. Sheffield haven't even scored a goal yet in the Premier League, so they will be a little bit worried, but it is still early on in the season. And as you see, every week, a lot of things change. It's so unpredictable that we never know what's going to happen. And that's why we love this beautiful league and this beautiful game. So thank you guys for watching. That was a quick review of week 3 results. And all I can say is I cannot wait for the next weekend. Even though my team lost, there'll be a lot of entertainment, a lot of goals, a lot of controversy. So all you football fanatics out there, thank you for watching, and please subscribe to the channel. And if you want to come on the show, talk about your team, talk about anything related to football, then please give us a shout. We will put our emails and Twitter handles in the description. So please get in touch, and see you all soon.